and welcome to Sorare Assist YouTube channel. Today I'll be sharing my budget picks for the upcoming game week. After getting over that threshold, these players should help you do just that, at a price that doesn't need a bank loan. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel then welcome. If you're after all the information on Sorare that your brain can handle, then you're in the right place. If you're a returning viewer, then it's nice to see you again. If you found this video useful, then please bump that like button. And don't forget to subscribe by smashing that big red button and ping that notification bell to be alerted about any new content and tidbits. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free rare card. Below you will also find timestamps for your convenience if you want to jump to a specific part of the video, but I would advise to watch all the way through just so that you don't miss anything. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video, drop them below. Also, is there any videos that you'd like to see more of, or any new videos you'd like to see? Let us know as well. Right, now that's out the way, let's get stuck in. I want to first share the scores from last week's budget picks. So these are selections that I picked for game week 162, which you can see on your screen in front of you. As you can see, there were some decent scores, with Vloot getting the highest score with an impressive 86 points. In the worst case scenario from these picks, you would have scored 220 points if you picked 2 defenders, 1 midfielder and 1 forward. This of course doesn't include any player bonuses or the goalkeeper score, so a high chance that you would have reached that all important threshold of over 250 points. So well done if you acquired any of these players. Anyway, on to this week's selections. So get your scouting notepads ready. So all these players have a favourable fixture coming up in game week 164, which starts tomorrow at 6 PM. These are all considered budget options, and at the time of recording these were available to buy at a budget price on the secondary market. At the time of recording, these players were also expected to start. However, I would suggest that you check any team news before the deadline, just in case of any injuries from recording this video and that all-important deadline. Right, let's get into it, and I'll start with defenders, followed by midfielders and finally forwards. I've not scouted goalkeepers, and if you have a rare goalkeeper, that's a bonus to reach that threshold. But a decent common keeper should do the job as well. Okay then, so first up we have got Jeong Woon, 31-year-old who plays for Jeju United. As you can see, he has got some fairly decent scores, some high scores as well in the 70s and 80s, and with an easy fixture coming up, he should get a decent score this week as well. He started all 12 games this season for Jeju, so he is one of the main men for them, and he's also bagged a goal and got an assist as well. So let's have a look at his price on Sorare then. So at the minute, if we just go to his cards, this is on the secondary market of course, so there is some going for around £100, which is cheap for a defender. You can obviously put a bid in as well to try and get an even cheaper price than that. So that is the first selection. Next player we've got is Jeong-Un from Daegu FC. He's 26 and his scores, as you can see, he's had some good scores recently. He did not play the last match, that's something to be aware of. But he is getting some game time, so when he does play, he is doing really well. He's started 5 of the 6 games this season for Daegu, so I would expect him to potentially play the next game as well. In terms of a fixture, Daegu are actually at home to Ichin United, so that is perceived as an easy fixture for them. So there's a good chance that Jeong-Un is going to get a decent score there. In terms of price, let's have a look on Sorare to see how much he is. So he's going for around £60, which is really good, and obviously you can put an offer in as well for these prices, potentially get them even cheaper. So it does look like a real bargain for someone who's now starting to get more regular minutes for Daegu FC. The midfielders now, and first up we've got Bryan Acosta, 27-year-old, who plays for Dallas in the MLS. Looking at his scores, you can see when he does play, he is getting some decent numbers there. He is expected to start in this upcoming fixture. I have checked that on the websites that I use to check team starting lineups. He is one of the main men for Dallas, and with an easy fixture coming up, I would expect him to get a decent score. Dallas have actually got, if we have a look at the next fixture, they're at home to Houston Dynamo in the upcoming. So let's have a look at his price on Sorare then, just to see how much he's going for. The midfielder, don't forget, and as you can see, is going for around £100. He has an average of 51 in his last 5. So as you can see, there's some cheap prices there for this player, who does have an easy fixture coming up. So that's another fantastic option. Next we have got Chang-Min, who plays for Jeju United. Looking at his scores, he's got some good scores there. He's only got 2 scores that are below 50 in the last year, so that is very good. And he's also got some high scores here as well. I suspect that would have been against easier opposition, so that is a good chance that he could get one of these high numbers in this game coming up. He's played 13 games, so he's started all 13 games for Jeju this year. He's on corners, as you can see here from the heat map. And Jeju are at home to Suwon FC this week, okay, which is perceived again as an easy fixture, as Suwon are near the bottom of the table. So let's have a look at Chang-Min's price on Sorare currently then, on the secondary market. Let's have a look. So he's a little bit more expensive, but he is a midfielder. So for around £200 for a quality midfielder, that is a good price. And you can actually just see from his last 5, if we just go on to the description here, you can see from his last 5 that he is getting some fantastic scores. And with an easy perceived fixture coming up, I would expect him to get one of these high scores like I've already mentioned there. So really good option, really good option. Okay, next up is Kerem Demirbay, who plays for Leverkusen. Now, something to note with this guy is he also has involvement with the Germany team. So if you are looking for some players for your Euro squads in the summer, then he's a good option for that as well. He's only 27. If you look at his scores, he is capable of some fantastic high scores there. And he is expected to be in the starting lineup this week. He did miss the match last week, but he is expected to be in the starting lineup for the upcoming game. He is very, very capable of getting these higher numbers as well. This season he's started 17 games. He's got 4 goals and also 4 assists. He's also on corners for Leverkusen as well, and he's a very important player for Leverkusen in the central of midfield there. So let's have a look at his price on Sorare currently. I was quite shocked when I saw his price, to be fair, because it does look cheap for a German international who was playing also for one of the top sides in Germany. If you look at his cards on here, he's going for around £140, 140, 150, but obviously you could put a bid in for that as well and you might be able to get him even cheaper. I think that looks like a fantastic bargain for a German international who's only actually 27 there. Okay, so last up is the forward that we have managed to find this week in the sort of the budget range. As you know, there's not a lot of budget options really in terms of forwards because they all are pretty expensive. But this guy is probably worth the current price that he is. He's only 25. He plays for Utrecht in the Holland First Division. And if you look at his scores, you can see that he's getting some fantastic numbers here. So with an easy fixture coming up, I would expect him to get another good score. He also shown good goal threat as well, which I do look for in forwards. Obviously that's the main thing we need to look for in forwards. Goal threat and obviously the goals that follow that. He's had 30 starts and scored 8 goals and also has 4 assists. But he has been scoring a lot more in the last 10 and is showing high goal threat as well. So in terms of fixtures for Utrecht, the next game they've got is their away to Heerenveen. And that again, like I say, is perceived as an easier fixture. So I expect him to get a lot of chances in that game and potentially bag himself a goal as well. So let's have a look how much he is on Sorare then. Currently on the secondary market. If you do manage to buy any of these players in the primary market, then that's even better because you like to get them cheaper. But obviously the deadline for the lineups is tomorrow for this game week, so that is something to bear in mind. So there's one here for 331. That is cheap for a player who's only 25. And as you can see, recent sales have been around the £200 mark as well. But this looks like a good deal really if you are after a forward. As you can see from his average, it's 63 in the last 5. So that is looking like he is a really good player there. Okay, that is all the selections for this game week. Again, I will report the results back in another video. If you have any thoughts on today's video, then drop them below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel by smashing the subscribe button. Don't forget to ping that notification bell to be the first to be informed about any videos like this, especially time sensitive ones like this, where you do only have a day or so to actually buy these players and get them in your starting lineups. You can also follow us on Twitter at Sorare Assist. There's of course, as always, a link in the description below if for some reason you've not signed up to Sorare yet. If you've not, then get signed up and get those all important free cards. I'll hopefully see you again on the next video. See you again soon.